scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David, as we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachahakorash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And we're going to go in the news, linking the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures, so that the faithful elect and remnant can know that these words that are written in the volume of the book are faithful and true as we embark upon the end of Esau's world, which is the revival of Rome, also known in the Holy Scriptures as Babylon the Great, which is fulfilled in America. All right, and the beast system links it to NATO and the EU, which this reestablishes the power of ancient Western Rome into the very earth that we live in today. And here it is. We have this tweet by Culture Critic where he's spotlighting Elon Musk, who we know to be associated with artificial intelligence, you know, brain C-hips. He was just added to Trump's cabinet to, so say, get the government in order as they're, you know, creating their own dream team. But these are the Edomites. And we know that the ancient, you know, Greco-Roman Empire was ran by Edomites. And that very beast system that started with the Greeks and attained its dominance through the Western Roman Empire, which fell, has been rebirthed into the planet Earth, starting at what we know as the Renaissance, which the word Renaissance means rebirth. Okay, and we always get into the image of the beast, but you still have particular camps, you know, of the opinion that the image of the beast deals with a standstill image of white Jesus, all right, or Serapis Christus, all right, or Caesar Borgia, which the image of the beast goes deeper than just a standstill image. We know that, you know, their philosophies, which is likened unto their wine that has the world drunk. We know that Christianity, that false Christianity, is a part of it, you see, but the image of the beast is deeper than just a standalone image. It's a system. It's a way that has been rebirthed into the planet Earth. And as the scriptures describe, all right, the deadly wound of, you know, that beast would be healed. Now, Elon Musk himself is coming out now saying that America is the new Rome. So this particular poster on X, or, you know, Twitter, says, if Elon Musk said America is the new Rome, then who is Caesar? All right, which Caesar is a term we see spoken, you know, many times in the scriptures in the New Testament, because what you're going to find out is that when Yahweh Shai and the disciples, all right, the Apostle Paul and so forth were on the scene, it was Rome, or the Western Roman Empire, that was in rulership. As a matter of fact, we'll go right back to this. All you have to do is type it up. All right. Which empire was in control during the time of the life of Yahweh Shai? It says the Roman rule, Roman emperors, Roman presence, Roman contributions, which we can go into the scriptures and show you that, right? And this is interesting that it was this empire that was in rulership when our Lord and Savior was on the scene, all right, and eventually crucified, because that's the very system he's returning to. As a matter of fact, when we get the book of Revelation, the first chapter in the 7th verse, it says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds," speaking of the chariots, "and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Ammon." Okay, and they also which pierced him goes to this account here in John the 19th chapter. All right, it says, "Then came the soldiers," which soldiers? The Roman soldiers, "and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahushua and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers bare with a spear." All right. "But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith there came out blood and water. And he that saw it bare record, and his record is true. All right. And he knoweth that he saith true, that ye might believe." See? So those who pierced him, all right, were Roman soldiers, okay, that were associated with the Roman Empire. So when the Lord returns, he's coming back to that very same system. As a matter of fact, when you get the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, right? So he was crucified during the Roman rule, right? And spiritually, he's being crucified in this rule, in the sense of he's being X'd out, mocked, presented as a joke. See, so when he returns, he's returning to that very system, because John the Revelator describes that very, Roman or Western Roman Empire being intact when the Lord returns. This is the book of Isaiah 63:1. It says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteous, mighty to save." So Esau, Edom, is associated with the return of the Lord. When the Lord returns, he's coming back to a system that will be ruled by the Edomites, that marks the revival of Rome, as it is written in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. See? This is Daniel, the 7th chapter, and the 7th verse, as this chapter gives you the different captivities that the Israelites will be scattered in. All right. In this sense, it will be primarily the Jews, as they went into the Babylonian, the Medo-Persian, then the Greek, and now the Roman captivity, which we're reading about here, Daniel 7:7. "And I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceeding, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns," going into the vassals that align themselves with the Roman Empire to make it a beast system, okay, for the purpose of military, for the purpose of trade, for the purpose of controlling different regions and territories. There were subordinate states or vassals, just like today you have America, and you also have the EU. Okay, they've given their power to the beast system for the purpose of forwarding the new Rome, which is America. Okay, when America goes around the four corners of the earth, bombing, destroying, you best believe that NATO and the EU, are aiding them. But anyway, this is speaking to the Roman Empire. See, when Yahushua came on the scene, it was during the reign of this fourth beast, see, which is the Roman Empire, see. And when you read in this very chapter, okay, this fourth beast, as you read, give me one second here. In verse 8, it says, "And I considered the horns, and there came up among them another little horn." See, another little horn. And that speaks to the revival of Rome. And this is where the Most High sets his judgment, and presents his son. See, so the son of the Most High, Yahushua, is going to return to the revival of Rome. See, this is what Daniel foretold. This is what is written in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. So when you deal, with this particular tweet, All right. America was founded to be the true successor of ancient Rome. See, the deadly wound being fully healed. All right. Ultimately, as we'll show you, starting at the Renaissance out of Italy, which marked the revival of the Western Roman Empire. From there, you had the Spanish, the French, the British, and out of the British came the 13 colonies, which established the 50 United States. This marked the revival of Rome, and they're now letting it be known. America was founded to be the true successor of the ancient Roman Empire, right? Western Roman Empire, but most don't know how deep the parallels run from its grid plan to its constitution, which we'll get into. Here's why we still live in Rome and why it won't collapse this time. So again, the pride of their heart has deceived them. See? And he's giving you just a few examples, which we'll tap into those examples. But again, Elon Musk, who is associated with Donald Trump, says America is the new Rome. And this individual said, well, if Elon Musk said America is the new Rome, then who is the Caesar? Well, another question which a lot of brothers asked when this picture was passed around is, where are the prophets? Who are the prophets? Who are the disciples? See? Because Yahweh Shai, when you get the book of Luke, or let's get Acts, the first chapter, okay? When you get Acts, the first chapter, let's make it red. Acts, the first chapter, and the 6th verse. Now, Rome is still ruling in the book of Acts, right? It says, when they therefore will come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom again to Israel? See? And again, Rome would be in power before the Lord established the kingdom, but it will be the revival of Rome. And there were particular things that had to be opened up to them. There were particular things that they didn't fully understand. But now here, as we're in the uttermost parts of the earth, the disciples have the true understanding of these things. See? And Yahweh Shah said unto them, because they thought that the kingdom was going to be set up at that time. They thought the Lord was there to take down that Roman Empire and to establish the throne of David again. And when you read it in the NLT, they constantly were asking him this. NLT, so when the apostles were with Yahweh Shah, they kept asking him, Lord, has the time come for you to free Israel and to restore our kingdom? Now, the freedom of Israel, all right, will be through being delivered from Babylon the Great and the various different captivities where we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But it wasn't to happen at that time. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and all Judea and in Samaria, because the circumcision had to be gathered first, and unto the uttermost part of the earth, see, which marks Babylon the Great. But even before then, they will go to the scattered, all right, Israelites in these various different Roman provinces, Greco-Roman provinces. And the word uttermost parts of the earth, eschatos is the Greek word, because they say eschatology. It says extreme, last in time or in place, last in a series of places, last in temporal succession, the last referring to time of space, the uttermost part, the end of the earth, okay, which is the land of the north over here in the northwestern hemisphere, of rank, grade of worth, last, lowest. So the last captivity of the Israelites will be in Babylon the Great, which is why when you get Revelation, the 18th chapter, when Babylon is destroyed, the scriptures say what? Revelation 18:20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. So the apostles and prophets are in this new Rome as it has been revived. As a matter of fact, and Babylon is likened unto Rome when you go into it in the scriptures. As a matter of fact, goodness. Give me 1 second here. I believe it's in the book of, First Peter's 5:13. It says, the church that is at Babylon, elected together with you, saluted you, and so doth Marcus, my son, which is Mark, was the understudy of the apostle Peter. All right. But when you look up this word Babylon, okay, Babylon. All right. Babylon means confusion. We know that. It goes into some history. Territory of Babylon. It says allegorically of Rome. See? Allegorically of Rome as the most corrupt seat of idolatry and the enemy of the followers of Yahushai. And there were many followers of Yahushai that were persecuted and put to death in that Roman Empire, man. Okay? So the Israelites are going to be freed, see, from Babylon, which is the modern day Roman Empire. Let's get the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and then we'll move on with the lesson. Isaiah, the 14th chapter, in the 3rd verse, because remember the disciples were asking him, are you going to free us now from oppression and take down that empire and restore the kingdom to Israel? Well, that ain't going to happen until these days, in which you have the holy apostles and prophets. Because again, if Elon Musk is saying this is the new Rome, as we know, what does the scripture say? The scriptures say in Ecclesiastes 1:9, let's get it in the NLT. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. King James, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So if America is the new Rome, right, then again, like he's saying, who's the new Caesar, which is the czar, the ruler, all right, which this term Caesar was spoken of heavily at the time of Yahushai. Okay, as a matter of fact, we have a few examples. Matthew 22:21, they say unto him, Caesar's. Then he said unto them, render unto Caesar's the things which are Caesar's. And you see this term Caesar pop up heavily during the time of Yahushai, because the Romans were in rulership. Okay, let's look up this word Caesar in the Greek. It's where you get the term Kaiser. That's where you get the term czar. See? It says severed, the surname of Julius Caesar, which adopted by Octavius Augustus and his successors afterwards became a title. It was appropriated by the Roman emperors as a part of their title. Okay? So there were many Caesars, but Julius Caesar, okay, which was the people's person. They loved Caesar. He ate and broke bread with his soldiers. When you go into his history, he was a cool ruler, although he was an Edomite. But you can go into that history. But again, it says it's of Latin origin, which Latin is written on the back of our dollar bill, Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order, which Elon Musk is boasting in that. See? Why is Latin on the back of the dollar bill? Because we are in the Roman Empire all over again, and you have those Caesars who are back. You have the image of the beast which has been reborn into the earth, right? Which means you also are going to have the disciples, which were promised to receive the Holy Spirit in the new Babylon, in the new Rome. See? And that's what's happened here. See? So when we go back, let's get the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 14th verse. Speaking of this beast system that we live in, John the Revelator gives us an account, right, of what would take place before the Heavenly Father sent his only begotten Son. He would give more of an insight to the revival of Rome, which as you could read in verse 11. As a matter of fact, this is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, the democratic and republican system, and he spake as a dragon. And in ancient Rome, you had the plebeians and patricians. You can look that up. All right. But this is where we are. This is the revival of Rome, which this chapter, which we have breakdowns on this whole chapter. If you need to just ask or look up GMS Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay. I myself have done a few videos on that, but of course our apostles, bishops, and elders as well. All right. I got the breakdowns from them. Okay. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, because again, what did Daniel tell us? When you see the fourth beast, right? He considered the fourth beast, and there came up among them another little horn. This marks the revival of that Western Roman Empire that fell. Okay. Now let's go back here. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Let's look up this word, healed. Okay, the deadly wound was healed, because we know the Western Roman Empire fell. Okay, but as they're saying, America is now the new Rome. Okay, Rome still lives. Okay, and what he's saying, it won't collapse this time, as the pride of their heart have deceived them. As a matter of fact, let's get the book. All right, we'll go back to that. Let's get the book of Psalms 49. Psalms, the 49th chapter and the 11th verse. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, in their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. All right. They call their lands after their own names. Okay. Many of the lands and the continents and countries they conquered are named after them. Many of the minerals, planets, all of these things go back to Esau, Edom, and his naming of things. And he's of the opinion that he's never going to go down. Okay. When people talk about this beast system, right, it talks about who shall be like the beast, who shall make war with the beast. Okay. Because of their great military might, because they were blessed with the sword. The reason why America's military is so mighty, the reason why ancient Rome's military was so mighty, is because of blessing given unto them of the sword. All right. This word healed, okay, is let's get it here. Therapy, basically.
Strong's G 2323. Therapuo. Therapuo.
Okay. To do service, to heal, to cure, to restore, to health. And that's the Renaissance period. As a matter of fact, let's type in the meaning of Renaissance. Meaning of Renaissance. Okay. The revival of art and literature under the influence of classical models. And what is classical? It's dealing with ancient Rome. Okay. The classics. All right. Relating to ancient Greek, because it was the Greco-Roman Empire. All right. Ancient Greek or Latin literature. That's Rome. Okay. Ancient Greek, Grecian, Hellenistic, Latin, ancient Roman. Okay, so the revival of art and literature under the influence of Greco-Roman models in the 14th and 16th centuries. Okay, that's when the deadly wound was healed. The culture and style of art, architect developed during the Renaissance. And it was more than, all right, art and architecture. It was a way, as a mindset. Okay, a way of governing. Everything that we are currently witnessing all ties back to the ancient Roman Empire, man. Okay, so let's go back here. All right. The deadly wound was restored to health. through the Renaissance period, which led to what we know today as Babylon the Great, NATO, and the EU. And when you look up an EU map, okay, it is this very same territory of the ancient Roman Empire. Look it up. Okay, we can't spoon feed you everything. Look it up yourself. All right. So this beast, which is, speaking of Babylon the Great, the final ruler, the final rule of this beast system, okay, exercised all the power of the first beast before him. All right, which goes back to the ancient Greco-Roman Empire. It started with the Greeks, but they got their dominance under the Romans, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. See, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, and that deadly wound points to the fall of the Western Roman Empire, which we'll get some of that history. All right, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. All right, going into, you know, their bombing NATO. Okay, becoming a military might, right, leading to Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and today all they've done is bomb, taking war from the taking peace from the earth via war. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do. So he's deceiving them that dwell on the earth by miracles via his technology. We always go into that, okay, healing people, you know, through AI. Making the blind to see, the lame to walk, making himself into a savior, all right, and deceiving the people into giving their souls over to this system in which he has his plan, all right, of a charagma, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live, making you to bow to the ancient Roman authority via today's world. And that's what they're doing. They've reestablished Rome. Right. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right. Now let's look up this word image. The word image is icon. OK. Image, figure, likeness. All right. Use of moral likeness, of renewed men to God. Moral likeness. See, and when we look at the world today. All right, the Diddy parties, which it goes deeper than him. All right, that is the moral likeness of the ancient Roman Empire. All right, the lewdness, the adultery, the orgies, the drunken parties, all of that goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. The morals, everything, adultery. Okay, all of these things, man. So the likeness. The word likeness, look up the word likeness. The fact or quality of being alike, resemblance, likeness. So the image of the beast goes deeper than just a standstill image of white Jesus. The image of the beast, all right, speaks to the ancient Roman system being reborn into the earth. And this is what this guy is boasting in. This is what Elon Musk, all right, is talking about. That America was founded to be the successor of the ancient Roman Empire, but most don't know how deep the parallels run. Now, I have a video that I always play, which we're going to get into this. But I mean, as a matter of fact, let's first get this here. The elder brother Karataza, GMS Vegas sit downs 144K. I've been meaning to go into this. If Trump isn't Emperor Nero, all right, because those emperors are back here today. Those Caesars are back here today. Okay, everybody's back in their lot. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you get the precept to this in Ecclesiastes 3:15, that which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. And there's another one, that it is man. I believe that's in Ecclesiastes as well. Let's see here. Boom. Ecclesiastes 6:10. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he, because ultimately your lot is already set and you're going to return to that lot. The apostles and prophets have returned to their lot. And see, when you go into the ancient Roman writings, right? Because a lot of people say the Bible is fake, which people don't look at the Bible as a history book. But all of those empires in the scriptures are empires that are known in secular history. And you have non-biblical sources of the Messiah and his followers outside of the Bible. Although we don't lean on these things, they are there. Many of the people who are known as historical figures don't have even close to the number of manuscripts that the Bible has and post manuscripts. Okay? The Bible, I believe, as a matter of fact, let's just type it in. Which book? How many manuscripts? How many manuscripts of the Bible? Okay. There are thousands of manuscripts of the Bible. Okay? Thousands. Okay? Thousands, man. Of the Bible, New Testament. All right. And there's more when you look it up. Again, this is AI, and we just look these things up, but there's a lot of manuscripts of the Bible. Now let's look at how many manuscripts of Alexander the Great. 123, but he's known as a historical figure, right? He's known as a historical figure without a doubt, but he doesn't have nearly as close as many manuscripts or post manuscripts as the Bible has. Okay. And what is a manuscript? Okay. A book, a document, or a piece of music written by hand rather than typed or printed. Okay, so you have all of these manuscripts and post manuscripts of the Bible, yet it's still a question as to whether it's a real book or whether it's real history. But then you have particular people who are known historical figures who have way less manuscripts, and they're here it is, they're known to be real without a doubt. No one would doubt that Alexander the Great is real. And the crazy part about it is a lot of his history is written in the Bible itself. History of the Greek Empire. He's written in the Bible. Okay? Just type in is yeah, I mean, AI is telling he's real, but I mean, history itself, when you go into history, people are telling you, he's an actual person. All right. Of course, you're going to have our arguments saying otherwise, because that's just the way of this world, the contrary aspect of history. But I mean, clearly this was a true individual. He has history, he has writings, right? And he's written of in the Bible, but yet the Bible itself is questioned. So there are non-biblical sources of the Messiah in history, man, and his followers by actual, historians who are valid. Okay. And I'll, Lord willing, put this in the, or you can look it up. I'll put this in the post-production, or I'll put it in the description box if I can remember. If I don't, just ask me and I'll put it. But in the ancient Roman Empire, those writers wrote about Yahushua and his followers. Okay? Point blank period, man. Let's see here. See if we can just tap into just a little bit. This article is called 121 Non-Biblical Sources for Jesus and his followers in Historical Records. Let's see. 3 Roman historians, Suetonius, Tacitus, and Dio Cassius AD, wrote about him. These are secular sources that wrote about Yahweh Shai. Okay? All 3 Roman historians count from the date of his coin, 14 AD, the year of Augustus's death, the beginning of Emperor Tiberius' reign. Tacitus recorded that Yahweh Shai died during the reign of Tiberius, defining his crucifixion. Yeah. I bet people, a lot of people don't know this stuff. See, but our apostles and elders brought this stuff out. But see, we just stick to the scriptures, but we can go to sources outside of the Bible of historians who are verified, who are boasted in this world. But they don't like to talk about how a lot of these historians talks about the persecution of the early followers of Yahweh Shai by the Romans. Okay? Yep. I mean, you just read it. I mean, they talk about his resurrection. Okay? Let's see here. I mean, it's all kind of information, man. Lord willing, Pliny. I believe Pliny the Younger. Yep, Pliny the Younger, who was an author, a lawyer in ancient Rome. He described the followers of Yahweh Shai. He noted the presence of Christianity, or the followers of Yahweh Shai, in the world during the first century was so prevalent that many pagan temples had been abandoned. A lot of Jake was leaving those idols, man, leading into the time of the Apostle Paul and the Gentiles being brought back in. Okay. So, I mean, you can go, I didn't want to go too deep into this, but I mean, it's there. Josephus talks about it. He's a verified historian. Okay. Which he talks about, Yahweh Shai. Okay. All kind of stuff. Thallus, okay? Thallus, a writer of history for the Eastern Mediterranean period of the Trojan War, his works commented on by the scholar Julius Africanus. First century Thallus records commentary of the darkness that encompassed Jerusalem during the time when Yahweh Shai was crucified. Okay? And many more. The miracles. Yeah. So there's other history that speak to Yahweh Shai and his followers, man. And this article goes into a long list of that. Again, here's another one, top 10 historical references of Yahweh Shai outside of the Bible. All right, of course they're gonna have the so-called white image, but they tap into the actual history, man. Okay? So, hey, man, the followers of Yahweh Shai were recorded, okay, in ancient Roman writing because they were there and they're here today. Okay, the church has been raised up here in the New Rome, Babylon the Great. Okay, and then it goes into what they said. Lucian, I remember reading about him before, of Samosata, all right, was a famous Greek satirist who referred to Yahweh Shai in his work. The death of Perigene was written sometime after AD 165. In it, he mocks the Christians, all right, the Christians. And again, the disciples were called Christian first in Antioch. Okay, they were called the followers of the Mashiach. Okay, but they were mocked and called followers of Serapis Christians or Christians as well. It says the Christians, worship a man to this day, the distinguished personage who introduced their novel rites and was crucified on that account. You see, these misguided creatures start with the general conviction that they are immortal for all time. All right, which explains the contempt of death and involuntary self-devotion, which are so common among them, meaning they were willing to die rather than to denounce Yahushua. That's in the writings of these particular historians and writers, man. Okay? This guy, okay? Mara Bar Serapion, all right? His city was destroyed by the Romans who were occupying the land. He himself was taken captive. Yada, yada, yada. All right. In his one of his writings, he says, what else can we say when the wise are forcibly dragged off by tyrants? Because the Roman Empire was persecuting the followers of Yahushua. It says their wisdom is captured by insults and their minds are oppressed without defense. What advantage did the Athenians gain by murdering Socrates, for which they were repaid with famine and pestilence, yada, 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 or the Jews by killing their wise king, because their kingdom was taken away at that very time. All right. And the Jews, the leadership had Yahushua offered up. Okay. But again, you know, Pliny the Younger. Okay. Again, Josephus, Tacitus. Okay. The conclusion is that each of these sources on their own provides limited information regarding the historicity of Yahushua of Nazareth. Taken together, though they provide a remarkably detailed summary of his life. Certainly, they attest to the fact that Yahushua existed. Even when you look at the Council of Nicaea, which happened years after, I don't know how many years after. Let's see if we can look it up. How many years? The Council of Nicaea, which was about 325 years after his death. And they even had councils before the Council of Nicaea, but they weren't discussing whether or not he was a real person. They were just discussing his divinity. Okay? His nature. It wasn't the fact that he wasn't real. That was never a question. It was known that he once walked the earth. His history, the history of his followers, it's all recorded in history, but the true history where it's recorded is the Bible. Okay? You even have writers that wrote about things that took place surrounding his resurrection. Okay? So, again, these things are faithful and true. But, again, the empire in which he was born in, who was ruling, was the Greeks. I mean, the Romans. See? And America is Rome all over again. But what I wanted to, we'll get back into that, Salakia. It's just, hey, the spirits like to win, right? But I wanted to play this video that the elder brother Karatazar put together. If Trump isn't Nero, again, that which is then is now. Okay? A lot of these characters are back here in these times, man. Just as the disciples are back here in these times. The followers of Yahushua are here. Some of his direct 12, they're here, literally in your face, but you wouldn't know who they are because they're in this flesh, and ultimately things have to be spiritually discerned, man.
Our healthcare workers desperately need. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Trump golfs.
And he put, Ecclesiastes 1:9, the thing which has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. And only the elect can tap into this, the truth as we do. For the rest of you, just keep mocking. The truth will soon hit you in the face. This is in Italy, the birthplace of the Renaissance, man. All right, Rome. And they got this big statue of Trump, you know, as a Roman emperor, man. Ew, bugged out.
I am the very model of an ancient Roman emperor. I overspend and overtax and overthrow my treasurer. I marry family members from my cousin to my stepsister. I'm always right, I'm never wrong.
And Nero was a complete freak. Now, Nero is known for the history centered around burning down a temple and blaming the Jews. I mean, you can look the history up. All right. He blamed the Christians, actually. He blamed the followers of Yahushua. Okay? And that was according to Tacitus, the same one, all right, who recorded, you know, some things about Yahushua and his followers. But according to Tacitus, all right, Nero blamed the Christians for the great fire of Rome in 64. And that led to persecution, which he did it himself. He burned down a region in Rome associated with a temple to Jupiter. Okay. And basically what he did was he went into their, you know, their doctrine and said they're always talking about fires coming, this and this and that. And he burned that region down associated with it, that temple, and said they're attacking our kingdom. And this led to the persecution of the Christians, the followers of Yahushua. Okay. And you can, you know, go into the history, but he laid blame for the fire on them, and they're getting ready to blame us for something. You best believe that these devils have something up their sleeve. As a matter of fact, when you get the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, right? When you get Revelation, the 12th chapter, and the 17th verse, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. The dragon is the Roman Empire, and it's known as the red dragon when you go earlier in this chapter. The red dragon, which was associated with Herod, okay, who was set up by the Roman Empire. Okay, they were all Edomites, but he was set up. And what did he try to do? He tried to put Yahushua to death. That great red dragon is going to be back in the very end time, and he's going to be wroth with the woman, Israel, the nation of Israel. The scriptures say the seed of the serpent shall have war with the seed of the woman. And that's all playing out. And what we see, it says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua. So the remnant, all right, the dragon, the red dragon, as is you know, talked about earlier, the great red dragon, which is the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, which when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, okay, it says this, Revelation 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, because it started with the Greeks. And his feet were like unto a bear, which speaks to Russia, and his mouth as a mouth of a lion. All right, Great Britain, which gave birth to America. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. The dragon speaks to Rome. That great red dragon is what gave this beast system its power and great authority. And see, when that Western Roman Empire fell, the deadly wound was eventually healed through the Renaissance, which brought back, all right, that whole ancient Roman culture. And this is how the image of the beast is living today. And we'll tap into that. But let's go back here. Okay. Which again, Nero, all right, we believe through the spirit, all right, is Trump.
Just as the spiritual senator.
That is correct.
Through some investigation by Praetorian inquisitors. My mother and my brother were revealed to be conspirators, but Mother Goose no longer here, this must have been remember her. I am the very model of an ancient Roman.
And they're liking him to, they're liking, you know, this is Nero Trump. All right. The Nero episode.
He fiddles while the city virgin rules, but they're not radical. He's lazy, British, and no wealthy thinks that he's infallible. Santa Smalley steals from dollars, writing tongue grammatical. He's making Roma great again, dramatic and fantastical. He's gormless and irascible, tragic and hypocritical. Maniacal and radical, positions problematical. Takes out the scoffs are backatical, his views are unsympathical.
We're still talking about Nero, right?
He's a narcissist, a petulant, unscrupulous, embezzler. He is a very model of an ancient Roman emperor.
See? Caesar. That's Trump. And that's a picture of Nero. Okay? And there will be a persecution of the followers of Yahweh Shai in this new Rome. And the scriptures talks about how we're going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. Could this be it? We believe, hey, very, very soon, we can be in those times. But you can clearly see they look alike. Nero, Donald Trump. Mount Seir, which was inhabited by, at one point, the Horites and then the Edomites. But you see that this is, you know, Rome. It's the same. All right, which we'll go more into that. Mount Seir. All right, Greece, Rome, Spain, the beast system, the UK. Okay, it's the same building structure. Obadiah verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. See that? America, Edom, Rome. The Nazis, all of them bore that eagle. Yep, 2nd Esdras 12 and 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, the Roman Empire. Okay? And you can watch this video. And history ties, all right, Rome to Edom, Rome. See if AI gives you that history. Edom, Rome. In rabbinic literature, Esau, also known as Edom, is portrayed as the embodiment of Rome, the wicked empire. See? All right. Esau, the ancestor of Rome. See? There's information out there. All right. You got to pick out the bones in a lot of this stuff. But we know that the Edomites are living today and that Rome has been reestablished into the planet Earth. Before we get this video, which I always get, and this is fair use, you know, fast food goes back to ancient Rome. You can look that up. Okay.
When we imagine what it would be like to eat a meal in ancient Rome, we often think of enjoying an elaborate banquet in reclined luxury. But while this might have been common among the upper classes, it doesn't reflect the experiences of the vast majority of Rome's urban plebs. Instead, these individuals would hit up their local fast food joint for a dine-in or takeout experience with friends and family. We have some evidence of this from a variety of archaeological sites, the most exciting of which is the recent find at Pompeii, which shows the fantastically preserved remains of an ancient snack shop. In this video, we will seek to bring the Roman fast food experience to life by rebuilding these establishments, diving into their menus, and taking a seat with their customers.
There you go. Fast food goes back to Rome. You can look that up. You know, social media, although it wasn't a digital computer, they had their post. That goes back to Rome. All right, I did a video on it. See if it comes up. this particular article, but there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, I did this a year ago. All right, the image of the beast and social media. So when we deal with the image of the beast, it's deeper than just an image of, white Jesus. Okay, Cicero's Web, how social media was born in ancient Rome. All right, you can look that up. All right, you can look at that video. I don't want to go too deep into it, so I wanted to get into that one video. The Frumentari, the FBI of ancient Rome, an image of the beast. Okay, the parallels between America and ancient Rome, and they had their FBI. Okay, but it was called the Frumentari. See if we can get a little bit on that. Okay, that was the FBI of ancient Rome. Again, we are in Rome all over again. And as he said, who's the Caesar? Well, where are the prophets at? If that which is then is now, would not the disciples and prophets have to be here? Okay, the Frumentari were the ancient Roman military and secret police organization used, all right, as an intelligence agency. That's what the FBI is. Okay, but you can look more into that. But I wanted to play this video. All right, America's Rome all over again, the image of the beast. Which I always play this, and we know we have new watchers, so this is something good to show you. Okay, again, let's go back here to Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right, in the 15th verse. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the beast, that it should be killed. And we showed you all the time that this word killed is a physical death, but also to be separated. And then eventually he's going to cause both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So this is that very system that John the Revelator saw, but it's associated with the image of the beast, both speaking. Let's look up this word speaking, because the picture of white Jesus ain't speaking, man. As a matter of fact, when you look at Esau's system, Christianity and white Jesus are the last thing he's talking about. Now, they're trying to have this big surge of the Bible come back, right? Under Trump, this fake Christianity. But the truth be told, the elites of this world don't give a damn about Christianity or the Bible. Okay, but it is a part of their image. The image deals with their philosophies, their way of governing, the idols, okay, the doctrines, the wine, the NWO, the alphabet behavior, pedestry, which is, the older men and little boys. All of that is fulfilled in the image of the beast. Okay, you look up, you see all these pedo rings. Okay. Ancient Greek and Rome. Okay. Yeah, pedestry. Yeah, it was a freak party. We know that about the ancient Roman Empire. But pedestry, yeah, the ancient Greeks and Rome. All right. In ancient Greece was a socially acknowledged relationship between an older male, all right, and the younger male. All right. And here today you have NAMBLA. Okay. The North American Man-Boy Love Association, which they're still going strong. It hasn't been outed. Okay. And the pedo behavior is a part of the alphabet agenda now. It's accepted now. All right. So is people who like to deal with animals. All of that stuff went on in ancient Rome. So when the image of the beast is speaking and living, it's deeper than just a standstill image. All right. The image is speaking. Let's look up this word speak. Laleo. Okay. To utter a voice, to emit a sound, the use of the tongue, all right, to tell, the use in order to declare as one mind, and we're seeing the mind of ancient Rome. We're seeing ancient Rome literally speak, all right, in today's world.
Rome, the Eternal City. It was founded over 2,700 years ago by twin brothers Romulus and Remus. For centuries, the people and emperors of Rome ruled the known world. Through war and conquest, they dominated the entire Mediterranean.
And the original Rome was founded by the Japhetic people. Okay, the Japhites, which were a dark-skinned nation of people, but it was eventually conquered by the Greeks and the Romans. Okay, Edomites took over these regions, man. Okay,
And controlled a territory which spanned 3 continents. It was home to legendary figures like Julius Caesar and Augustus, but also to crazed emperors Nero and Caligula. Rome's history is a violent one. It was a civilization founded on bloodshed and lust, and would eventually destroy itself in the same manner. What is that all Rome had to offer? Typical perceptions of Rome include constant gladiator games, wine-fueled orgies, and prosperity among all. These are all dramatized visions of a glorious culture that was far more similar to our own than it was different. Their influence and contributions can be felt even today. By examining the history and culture of ancient Rome, we're able to see that not all of Rome died in its collapse. Every day, we're surrounded by common symbols which owe their meaning and lasting appeal to the Romans. For instance, the Great Seal of the United States shows an eagle clutching arrows in one leg and an olive branch in the other. Imagery such as this is usually interpreted as uniquely American. The eagle, however, was not always a symbol for American nationalism. In Roman mythology, the eagle was the companion of the chief god Jupiter, and it was used widely throughout Rome, adorning statues and temples. Its religious associations would have been widely known throughout the Roman world. It was also used by the military, which carried standards with the bird of Jupiter mounted on top. In recent history, others have used the eagle to create a memorable link with the ancient past. Napoleon Bonaparte's Grand Army used it to decorate their standards, banners, and uniforms. It was also incorporated into the emblem of the consulate, after Napoleon declared himself first consul, a title also derived from ancient Rome. During World War II, the Nazis held party rallies and demonstrations while carrying Roman standards which were topped with the eagle. At the same time, fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, who envisioned Italy becoming a new Rome, also used ancient Roman symbols, including the fasces. It was a tool carried by Roman civil servants known as lictors, in order to preserve the peace or hand out punishment. Even the word fascism is derived from the ancient Roman tool. It also appears in numerous forms throughout the United States, representing strength or justice. The olive branch was also used in everyday life by the Romans. Olives were a precious commodity in the ancient world, despite the amount of labor required to produce them. Extending an olive branch to an enemy, therefore, became known as a symbol offering peace, as they could only be grown during peacetime. The olive branch appears on the official seal of the president, which has been in use since 1880, and on the United Nations flag. In the mid-1st century BC, Julius Caesar replaced the old Roman calendar, which had 355 days, with a new one, reorganized with 365 days, with one leap year every 4 years. The renovated Julian calendar is essentially identical to the calendar system used today. Originally, the older style calendar put the beginning of the new year in March, at the start of spring. Julius Caesar had the new year coincide with the 1st of January. Most of the names for the months are derived from the original Roman names as well. January, from Janus, god of doorways and beginnings. February is derived from the Roman festival of Februa. March is the month of Mars, the god of war. April comes from the Roman month Aprilis. May, for the Roman Maya, goddess of spring. June is named after the queen of the gods, Juno. July gets its name from Julius Caesar, who rededicated the month after himself. August was renamed in the same fashion after Augustus, first emperor of Rome. And September, October, November, and December simply mean the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Certain religious festivals from ancient Rome were replaced with Christian holidays as paganism declined under alternate names but with similar meaning. A Roman festival known as Lupercalia celebrated fertility and health. It was held February 15th and is the modern equivalent of St. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, boom. Again, so you're seeing how the image of the beast is speaking and living today. Okay?
Often used as a symbol for the modern holiday is the chubby winged child known as Cupid, which was the Roman god of erotic love. In December, Romans would honor the god Saturn during the week-long celebration of Saturnalia. This was held at the end of the month and is believed to be the basis for celebrating Christmas during this.
And this is why you have these Christians saying Christian is not pagan. I'll make sure to put that in post-production. All right. Christmas is not pagan. All right. Because they're a bunch of damn pagans, man.
Time. One of Rome's often forgotten but inescapable contributions is their language. Although it is not spoken directly, the majority of words in the English language, at least 60% and probably higher, are derived from Latin. Many common names such as Marcus or Julia are Latin words. Even the name America is taken from a Latinized version of Amerigo, the person it was named for. Other languages spoken around the world also developed from Latin. They are known collectively as the Romance languages. The main ones include Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Italian. Including English-speaking countries, it's estimated that over 1 billion people today speak a language which traces its roots to Latin. Another important contribution from ancient Rome in use today is their alphabet. Numerous writing systems around the world, English included, base their alphabet on the Latin characters. With the exception of J, U, and W, the capital letters of the English alphabet are identical. Besides the basis for languages, Latin is also used in the Linnaeus taxonomy system, developed by Carl Linnaeus in the 18th century to classify and arrange organisms. Thanks to Linnaeus and Latin, humans are scientifically classified as Homo sapiens. Many legal terms in use today, such as habeas corpus, in absentia, stare decisis, and others are taken directly from Latin. At the heart of Rome was its government. During the Republic era, a code of laws known as the 12 Tables were created, which protected the rights of all citizens. Roman law would eventually spread and become the foundation for numerous law systems throughout the world. Because of the 6th century Emperor Justinian, who collected all works of law and assembled them in a single doctrine, Roman law was preserved until modern day. In one form or another, it was the basis for most of the European law systems until the end of the 18th century, and even the English common law, which helped influence the U.S. Constitution, borrowed from the ancient laws of Rome. Even in America, founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson and John Adams hung on every word of Roman writers like Sallust, Tacitus, and Cicero, considering every character they wrote worth studying. George Washington was considered the Cincinnatus of America for his reluctance to hold power and his patriotism for his country. Because of this, many statues were created with Washington dressed in Roman-style clothing. Many of the buildings of ancient Rome have been lost to time, but we're left with a small piece of their majesty. One of the most influential pieces we have is the Pantheon, a temple which was dedicated to all the gods. Its design, which is quite different than other temples in the Roman world, due to its square column front and large dome interior, has been replicated in almost every state capitol building in America, including the Capitol in Wisconsin.
See that?
The Emperor Trajan was centuries ahead of his time when he built what is considered the first multi-story shopping mall. It was equipped with the ancient equivalent of all the stores we might find in a modern mall. Sports fans as well owe some debt to the Romans for their architectural endeavors. Modern stadiums, which itself is a Latin word, are modeled after amphitheaters, a must in any great Roman town. The most famous of them is undoubtedly the Colosseum. Romans also loved going to the races at the Circus Maximus, a large oval track used for chariot racing. The Romans, like audiences today, enjoyed a good spectacle, often betting on their favorite gladiator or charioteer. There were also inventions like the hypocaust system, which circulated warm air through chambers beneath flooring. It was especially useful in bathhouses where heated floors were a necessity. This subfloor heating is similar to a system in homes today, centuries after it was first conceived. The empire eventually came to an end, destroyed by barbarians. Ancient Rome exists now only in its legacy. As the saying goes, not only do all roads lead to Rome, but most of our culture does as well. The people of Rome were very similar to the people of the world today. They worked the land, loved to be entertained, and were extremely resourceful and creative. The people in the cities created a melting pot of ethnicities, each contributing a bit of their heritage to the Roman way of life. One could argue that without Rome, our world today could never exist. In the words of Professor Charles Hershey, Rome is modern, progressive, a present force among the cities of the world, even as she is the treasure house of the ages. He continues, ancient Rome has left to her successors much more than her forums, her temples and arches, and her arenas. She has bequeathed her civilization, including her laws, her customs, her literature, and her philosophy. They are a part of our civilization today.
Exactly. All right. So like the census, you know. All right. The census started with Rome, man. As a matter of fact, in the scriptures in the book of Luke, all right, Luke, the 2nd chapter, It says, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Now that word taxed, that's why a lot of historians say there was no tax that, Caesar Augustus. That's a false history. Well, it's just the translation. The word, okay, really speaks to a census. All right, the Greek word
Strong's G 583. Apargrapho.
to write off, copy, to enter in a register of records. Now, it was for the purpose of taxes, all right, but he was more so speaking of the census, man. You had to register yourself, enter into public records the names of men, their properties, and their income for the purpose of taxes, man. Okay, and again, okay, there was points in Roman history, all right, where ultimately there were census, man, and that goes back to Rome. That's here today, all right. There's many things that we look at in the world we live in that has its roots in the ancient Roman Empire. As a matter of fact, let's get the book of Malachi, the first chapter. Malachi, the first chapter. In the 4th verse, it says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. What did they rebuild? They built Rome. We will return. Right? Let's look at the word return. Okay? Because the Western Roman Empire was impoverished, but they said, we shall return. The word return, shawab, to return, turn back, to return. Okay, or spiritual relations. Spirit, this is the spiritual Rome. Okay, to turn back. All right, of repetition, to restore, repair. Okay, what is the meaning of Renaissance? Okay, to the revival. Okay. Renaissance is a French word meaning rebirth. It refers to a period in European civilization marked by a revival of classical learning and wisdom. And we showed you classical goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay. And not only was there a, the art and technology and, infrastructure, it was medical. All right. You had a medical renaissance. Okay. All right. The scientific methods and discoveries and advancements. All right. And this is what runs the world today. All right. Okay. Asclepius is the Greco-Roman god of medicine. And this is not medical information. But let's look up the logo. See that? So again, the image of the beast is deeper than some dang old picture of a white Jesus. It's deeper than that. Okay? Look up the logo of things that run the world today. See that? Who that? And that goes back to Egypt as well. Okay? See if we can go back to that Egypt. Boom. The who that features a staff with a snake, also known as the rod of Asclepius. But it also goes back to Egypt. Oh, I forget the name of it. It's something. The Apostle Ramla brings it out. I forget it. It's off the. It's on the tip of my tongue. Okay. There you go. The Sadducees. Okay. It's the same. Yep, the Sadducees. That's it. That's the name of it right there. So look, we're that which is then is now. Because when you go to the when you deal with the Greeks and the Romans, they studied, okay, the Egyptians, man, which they studied the Babylonians, Babel. All of that ancient left-hand magic is now returned. It's all back. Yes, the ancient Greeks and Romans extensively studied the Egyptians and considered Egypt a great source of wisdom and knowledge, particularly in areas like mathematics, astronomy, religion, medicine, often incorporating aspects of Egyptian culture into their own societies throughout art. So, again, this is the modern day all right, Babylon the Great, which speaks to all the mother of all harlots. But let's read this again. Malachi 1:4, where Edom said, "We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, they shall build, but I will throw down and call them the border of wickedness, the people against the Lord whom the Lord have indignation forever." See that? And that's this new Rome. They've built, but the Lord is going to throw it down, man. Okay? So, I mean, I just wanted to bring out some information. I don't want to make it too much longer. The point was made. We will give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.